The other day, I was flipping through this classic video games magazine, literally just titled Video Games, that I had in my collection that's all beat and worn. I almost think it's one of those ones. It's even got a Revolution X cover on the back, or ad on the back, which is badass. But I found a cool little section in here that was all about the first look of Resident Evil. So, before the game even came out and everything like that, they're doing a little bit of a discussion on it. And you got these cool Resident Evil scenes in there and whatnot. Totally like proto-era. And I thought I was just going to read that here because I thought this was pretty darn neat. So here, first look, Sony PlayStation, Resident Evil. This is funny. They call it a one-player fighting game. That was the genre they were going with. No survival horror. Developed by Capcom. Available spring '96. And we all know that's coming out on the PlayStation, Sega Saturn one a little bit later, as well as the PC. And then, of course, they got some captions in here, too. Resident Evil's interface is similar to Alone in the Dark, but much more advanced. Government special ops is an equal opportunity employer. Some of those classic jokes that they used to have in video game magazines. And then one of the new weapons is a powerful revolver. Ouch. But here we go. Here's that part. So, last issue, we hipped you to Capcom's upcoming Blood and Guts Fest, Resident Evil. Even though the game was hardly 20% complete, we were absolutely blown away by its nothing short of amazing graphics, movie-quality sound, and innovative interface. This month, we've gotten our hands on a newer version of the game that has been more areas to explore, more characters to interact with, and more weapons to blow away zombies with. So we are just going to give you another glimpse of what we think is going to be one of the hottest games of 1996. Resident Evil takes place in and around a mysterious mansion that houses the headquarters of a secret government lab charged with the development of top-secret new biological warfare device. True to Murphy's Law, the worst possible thing has happened. Total loss of contact with the facility. In the game, you take the role of an operative sent by the government to investigate what went wrong. Upon arrival, you find the house deserted, and as you explore it, you discover that it has been overrun by an army of zombies, giant spiders, vicious frog mutants, and much, much worse. Using your wits and weapons, you have to run the terrifying gauntlet of the mansion, its sub-houses, a cemetery, and more to keep with the horror from spreading to the outside world. If you're lucky, you might find the escape helicopter and get out of there with your sanity intact. The new version of Resident Evil includes a playable female character, in addition to the first male character. It also has a host of new rooms and outside of locations to explore. In addition, graphic tricks like the use of mirrors have been added to the game's whoa cool factor. One of the most interesting new developments in the addition of the inventory screen. It doesn't sound too exciting, but it looks great. The main reason it's so cool is the fact that whenever you select a weapon for your character to use, you can look at a 3D modeled version at your leisure. Cool. Keep in mind that this is still far from complete version of the game, and it stands to reason that much will be changed before it hits shelves. Keep reading VG so that you can get the scoop. So yeah, as you can tell, this is how you know how early it is. It's got the Ultra 64 still here. You know what I mean? They're not even calling it N64 yet, but I thought that was just a cool little historical first look for the original Resident Evil. That's always one of my all-time favorite games. I can go back to it dozens upon dozens of times and never get bored. But yeah, it's fun to look at old video game magazines.